Shall he turn away and not return? Shall Yah Yisrael, turn away and not return? Why then is this people of Jerusalem slidden back by a perpetual backsliding? A question. The response. They hold fast to deceit. They refuse to return. Our fathers deceived themselves about ancient Egypt. How many of you are still deceiving yourselves about contemporary Egypt? The flaw. Because remember, none of them made the statement that they did not understand the wonders of Yah Yisrael. But something showed up in their character. Some type of observable flaw showed up. It was a result of their holding fast to deceit, and they refused to return with all of their heart, all of their soul, and all of their might. And just as we were required to return in this sacred season, we are required to give thanks. We are required to enjoy, to bring forth jubilation with all of our heart, soul, and might in this Yochai generation, this Nihalel Yah generation, this Hallelujah generation. With all of our heart, soul, and might, we must lift up our voices and give thanksgiving and praise, for we understand now this wonder, an awesomely mysterious occurrence, an awesomely mysterious occurrence. It's not easy to comprehend that Yah Yisrael, that a power, this invisible force, would be able to organize and bring into focus, to bring into existence an entire civilization, to put them into an order to execute the judgments upon a people. That's not hard. That's not easy to believe that. And especially after being in that captivity for more than 400 years. Because you look around and I'll be saying, all of that is a lie now. It's all a lie. All of that was a transient dominion brought into existence, lifted up as a benevolent, as a gift, not something that they earned, but something that was made necessary in order to execute the judgments that were written. So this social system, the binding, this anti-Yah idea, the captivity, it's far beyond flesh and blood. Remember the words attributed to Yeshua, the flesh profiteth nothing. How many of our people, remember, the great majority of our people are being held in captivity by an idea. This liberal, democratic idea has imprisoned them, even though we find all of the direct affronts to the Creator that exists within the context of that civilization, its constitution, its ideology, the liberal democratic social system. The prophets have said, harness the tongue, but they say freedom of speech. Everything in affront to the Creator, everything in place to keep you in perpetual opposition to His will. Because as long as you are perpetually in opposition to His will, then they are continuously the beneficiaries of the manifest destiny. Yah Yisrael, the commandment, thou shalt have no other gods before me. The liberal democratic social system, freedom of religion, worship, a pantheon of gods, any gods, all gods, whatever their names may be. The prophets, Moses bringing our fathers out of ancient Egypt in the 12th chapter, Deuteronomy, and the 8th verse. Thou shalt not do as thou doest here this day. Every man that which is right in his own eyes, not which is wrong, but every one which was doing things that were right, that they personally determined right in their own eyes. The Creator said conformity, but they've given us freedom of expression. Freedom of expression. You know, everyone is allowed to do what is right in their own eyes. But the prophets have said that we must conform, that there has to be conformity of a dress code, of a dietary standard. You cannot eat just anything. We must conform to the high, holy, and sacred diet, the high, holy, and sacred dress code. The prophets have said unto us to publish the truth. And now we find freedom of press, where the press is allowed to publish lies, legally to publish lies. The prophets have said that perversion is sin and illicit behavior. But now we find civil unions, same-sex marriages. All of this is accepted. This is all the part of the unfolding of an idea. And as long as you hold fast to that idea, you remain in the captivity. You must cast down that idea. That idea is the captivity now. For this is contemporary Egypt. The flesh profits nothing. It is the idea that has bound you. It is the idea that is holding our people in captivity. Do you understand the great wonder? The great wonder of contemporary Egypt. Of contemporary Egypt. This great wonder, a wonder, something awesomely mysterious. I'm certainly aware that for you to comprehend that Yah Yisrael summoned hundreds of thousands, millions of people on this planet and brought them together and put it into their minds to execute the sentence upon the house of Israel. That's awesomely mysterious. Awesomely mysterious. And that's why it is written in the 46th verse of the 28th chapter of Deuteronomy. It says that, and these curses shall be upon thee and thy seed for a sign and a wonder. And believe me, my beloved sons, when you understand what I'll be saying unto you, then you will concur. It's a great, awesomely mysterious. It is definitely a great wonder. Then, the unfolding of the vision. I'm going to share a few verses with you from the book of Lamentations of Jeremiah, the 5th chapter. And as a matter of fact, I was going to just refer to verse 7, but I'm going to read verses 1 through 7. Remember, y'all, what is come upon us. Consider and behold our reproach, our shame, our disgrace. Our inheritance is turned over to strangers, our houses unto aliens. We are orphans and fatherless. Our mothers are like widows. We have drunk our water for money. Our wood is sold unto us. Our necks are under persecution. We labor and have no rest. We have given the hand to the Egyptians, contemporary, to be satisfied with bread. And the 7th verse is my point of reference. Our fathers have sinned and are not, and we have borne their iniquities. Our fathers have sinned and are not, and we have borne their iniquities. So the captivity from decadence to dawn, that we woke up one morning serving a sentence. Our fathers had passed on, and we were bearing the iniquity. We were serving the sentence for something that we had no idea as to what had occurred. Our fathers had sinned, and they had passed on, and there we were in our generations. serving the sentence for their iniquitous deeds. So then the vision comes. The vision comes as a sign of the times. The vision comes as a sign of the times. For salvation is sign of the times. It's time for restoration. The vision comes as a sign that it is time for the restoration. The vision comes as a sign that it is the time, the season of great salvation. The great transition thereafter begins. The book is open. The kingdom comes that was prophesied by Daniel the prophet in the 2nd chapter and the 44th verse. So the vision comes, the kingdom comes, the great restoration begins. It is time now for salvation to be manifest in the midst of the children of Israel directly, and the Adamic civilization indirectly. And our prayers for salvation, prayers for redemption were heard. And in the book of Psalms, the 106th chapter and the 47th verse, it is written, "Save us, O Yah Yisrael, and gather us from amongst the nations. Gather us from amongst the ungodly nations." Specifically in our prayers for a purpose, to give thanks unto thy holy name and to triumph in thy praise. And to triumph giving praise unto thee, not the gods that were given unto us by the anti-Yah civilization, but to triumph lifting up thy holy name. Understandably, we would be introduced to a God, decadence, to dawn, that we knew not, and to triumph in thy holy name. Save us. The vision comes. Salvation comes for a specific purpose, not just to be saved, but to be gathered, because once again now, an awesome, mysterious occurrence is about to happen. As a matter of fact, it is unfolding at this very moment. Another awesomely mysterious occurrence is unfolding at this very moment. In the kingdom age, the coming of the kingdom of Yah that was prophesied by Daniel the prophet in the 2nd chapter and the 44th verse. To give thanks unto thy holy name and to triumph, giving praise unto Yah Yisrael. In the book of Daniel, the 2nd chapter and the 44th verse, the coming of the kingdom. And in the days of these kings shall Yah Yisrael establish a kingdom which shall never be destroyed. Hallelujah. And the kingdom shall not be left unto other people, but it shall break in pieces and consummate, bring to an end all of those kingdoms, and it shall stand forever. So the prophet Daniel notes the coming of the kingdom, but the coming of the kingdom has a specific purpose, because now we find that the kingdom would break in pieces and consummate, bring to an end all of those kingdoms. Remember now, that was a manifest destiny. Now the coming of the kingdom means that that civilization, that dominion is no longer a necessity to execute the judgments. We are now the language, the vernacular of our generation. We are in post-judgment. That means that all of the things that were done to execute the judgment upon us are no longer a necessity. Why is it that you continue to hear this biblical, this kingdom civilization vernacular? We are in post-judgment. We are in post-judgment because we are declaring before Yah Yisrael, before his throne and before the nations now, that all of the things that were done, the civilization upon whom it was their manifest destiny simply to execute the judgments, they're no longer a necessity. The coming of the kingdom. And that's why the prophet Daniel said the coming of the kingdom would break in pieces, and consume, that the coming of the kingdom would consummate the necessity, bring all of that to an end. The coming of the kingdom of Yah becomes the sign. Another, because undoubtedly now, as the sons and the daughters, they look and they consider the numbers of the kingdom. But remember, when it was a necessity for Yah to bring millions into order, remember, he established that order for millions of individuals to execute the sentence. And I'm certain that if he established that order, it is within his capabilities and his power now, when it is no longer necessary, to bring its consummation into being. As a matter of fact, it would seem as if it is a very simple thing to do. Consider how he, in his infinite wisdom, brought them together to fulfill his will. Howbeit, he is capable now of bringing them together to fulfill his will in the kingdom age. They're no longer a necessity. The coming of the kingdom. And this kingdom shall break in pieces. What kingdoms? The kingdoms that were given as a benevolent gift, a dominion to execute the judgment upon us. And this kingdom shall break in pieces and consume, bring it to an end. The coming of the kingdom brings that to an end. That's all over. Do you understand the wonder of contemporary Egypt? Because in order to serve Yah, in order to be those servants unto the Father, to serve with all of your heart, soul, and might, you must understand the great wonder of contemporary Egypt. And if you do not, it will show up as an observable flaw in your character. An observable flaw in your character. And that observable flaw will manifest itself. It will manifest itself because you will not be able to commit yourselves with all of your heart, all of your soul, and all of your might. Now, the prophet Jeremiah reminded us the flaw, holding fast to deception. Holding fast to deception, refusing to relinquish your grip on that which is in a state of disintegration. It's all over. Certainly, as it was processed in, it will be processed out. This is the end of that civilization. The coming of the kingdom is the great sign. Remember, the vision comes as a sign that it is time for the restoration, as a sign of the times. It is time now for the children of Israel to experience salvation. It is time now for the great transition, and it is already in motion. It is already in motion. This is occurring. This awesomely mysterious occurrence, the coming of the kingdom. You sons are living in the kingdom age. You're living in the kingdom age. Another awesomely mysterious event has occurred in your lifetimes. And if you do not understand from decadence to dawn, the bonding of the new covenant, you cannot serve with all of your heart, soul, and might. You cannot even partake of this great joy, this great moment, this great celebration We made it. We made it.